Hello everyone, this is PHTV Channel 4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski. Welcome to Meet with Maureen. I hope you're familiar with our program now because every month we meet with someone from Moraine Valley Community College and they tell us about the programs that are going on. Now Moraine Valley Community College is very close by, so all of our neighboring suburbs can go there. It's right there in Palos Hills. And I think you hopefully are familiar with it now. I think the thing we want to know about Moraine Valley Community College is that there's really something for everyone over there. And I hope this program proves that to you. And today we have a new guest, and that is Diane Medina. Diane, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
It's so nice because Diane is going to tell us about really a rather new program, at least I think it's fairly new. She is the program coordinator for the Cannabis Retail Specialist Certificate Program. That's a really big title.
Yes.
I'm not sure that we as, citizens are aware that, some of these programs are available to us. This is very specific, and this is something that is really new. I think according to what I'm reading here, this began in 2020, so this is still a fairly new program. So when did the college decide that they should add this kind of certificate program?
Yes, so it is fairly new. We did start in August of 2020. But the college saw an opportunity right before recreational cannabis became legal in the state. And so what happened was a former retired professor took the idea to our vice president of institutional advancement and had a conversation with our president. And then that conversation continued, and it was moved on into this bigger certificate opportunity by the support of our board of trustees as well. But so like I said, it was more so because the jobs are being created now that it's legal in the States, and so it's a great opportunity for individuals and our current students to look into this as an opportunity.
Okay, so I've seen initially the lines of people trying to get a license for
Yes.
operating this. So I mean, this seems like it is a very popular and very probably extremely lucrative business. So what kind of experts do you have, and what kinds of things are they? Why are people getting this certificate? What does this prove? What will you be able to do when you have this?
So for experts, we did partner up with Cresco Labs, which is one of the bigger multi-state operating companies here in the States that both has dispensaries and cultivation. And so we started originally with them as partners to create the curriculum. And so our executive director of corporate community and continuing education did a lot of the legwork to create and develop this certificate to see where the jobs would be. And dispensaries is one of the places that jobs are growing the fastest in the state. And so getting a state in the license and here in the state is a little bit tricky, and it's a little bit complicated. However, there are already many operating dispensaries that are looking for individuals on the entry-level side. So this certificate can support those individuals to be knowledgeable of cannabis and the laws. And so that's what this certificate was created for.
Okay, so in this certificate, you mentioned dispensaries and cultivation. Are the people getting this certificate going to be in the dispensaries suggesting things to people to use, or are they out there somewhere, growing products?
No, well, with this certificate, you're going to get the basic understanding of how to work for a dispensary. So you'll learn the history, you'll learn the laws, and then you'll learn about the chemistry of the plant. So when speaking to customers or patients at a dispensary, you're knowledgeable of what they're selling at that dispensary. Cultivation, I mentioned cultivation because Cresco Labs is also a cultivator. So other individuals who have maybe agriculture backgrounds, they would be more likely to go into the cultivation side.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So if you mentioned patients, so some people are just there because they want recreational.
Right.
Some people are there as patients, but are the people getting this certificate, are they filling a prescription, or are they suggesting if someone has a particular want or need as far as being a medical issue, do they have a certificate for that?
There is certificates created, but at Moraine Valley, we only specialize in retail.
Okay.
So jobs that would be used with this certificate would be in the retail side, a bud tender, more like a operation associate, retail specialist. So more on the sales and operation side.
Okay.
The medical side, if the dispensary carries medical, they would have to hire somebody with more of a patient care tech background.
Okay, which the school does not provide at this time.
No, at this time, no, it's just retail.
Okay. Okay, so you decide you want to learn about this. What kinds of classes are you taking to do this?
Our certificate is 6 courses, and it consists of 2 business courses and a computer Microsoft Office course. We included the 3 cannabis courses, so an introduction to cannabis, cannabis laws and regulations, and pharmacology cannabis. And so with all those 3 courses, you earn the 13 credit hour certificate.
Okay, and once you have the certificate, are they looking for that in dispensaries? Are they saying what kind of qualifications do you have? I would think they would want some sort of verification of your knowledge.
Yeah, so I've spoken to various professionals across the industry now, and one in particular has said that that our certificate is very impressive, because if a student's willing to go and get this background knowledge and foundation and then apply to the dispensary, they really would like for them to be hired and would consider them because they've already gone through this. So they're more marketable and more ready for those positions.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because then they would have a business basis is kind of what you're offering at the college.
Right.
So that gives them a little leg up there.
Right.
Now the faculty is probably, am I right by guessing that faculty was already there?
Correct.
And so then they came in from different disciplines. Who are we looking at for that?
So we have our chemistry and physical science faculty teaching the introduction courses and the pharmacology course. And then we have our criminal justice faculty. He's teaching the law and regulation sides. And so our pharmacology instructor has a background in forensic drug chemistry, and our criminal justice faculty, his background is he was a prosecutor for the Cook County States, and then a supervisor for the Narcotic Bureau. So they both have really good extensive background to be positioned to teach and lead these courses.
Okay. Well, that's good, because you would need to have, it's nice you have someone that was available, most likely right within that school setting that
Yes.
you could bring in for that.
Yes. And so then during last year, during the pandemic, it was kind of hard to bring in additional adjuncts or support. So these instructors did really great to lead on these courses.
Oh yeah, that's a hard time to start kicking off things in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah. Well, so about how many students are involved in this, and how many of you had, like, from the start, did they complete their course and then go on to do what they thought? Or with some of them, I would think they would think that maybe that's a jumping off point to something else.
Right. So we actually enrolled since the fall of 2020, 195 students. Some did not complete the whole entire certificate, but they at least took the introduction course. And so 60% actually have claimed the certificate as their major. And so we're currently tracking those students, see where they're at. Over the summer, I did informal survey to hear back from them. And some are, we have at least 3 in different positions, one in a dispensary and then another one in an infusion company that makes edibles for another company, so like a third party type. And so we're just collecting their feedback, and I'm tracking them and see where they're at. But right now, we do have 20 students that completed the certificate.
Okay, well, that seems like really great that they went through the whole program. Have those students then gone on to jobs that are, something they were looking for at that point? Do you know what their success is so far?
We don't exactly know all of the students' positions, but some are still at the college completing an associate in business, or they're in information technology. So the certificate is sort of a add-on to what they're already considering, and maybe cannabis could be a minor per se.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they can use those courses, they can get a certificate, but they can keep on going using those hours that they're getting in that certification to get their whole associate's degree at the end.
Or vice versa. If their associate degree requires business and Microsoft Office, then they could add those courses to the certificate. If they've already been at the college taking so many credits towards their associate, then they were able to apply those credits to the certificate.
Okay. Now, who's kind of interested in this? Is this a lot of young people, retired people? Like, yes, I finally, found my niche. I'm going to get out there and get certified in this. Who's your
Audience?
students?
Yeah. So it's actually a variety. I did an average age group, and they're in their early 30s. And then I've spoken to returning students that they, been in different industries, and so that now they're interested in this because they've been interested in personally. But then we have our young students who are taking those courses for their associate degrees and saw the chance to take the certificate.
Who is it drawing in? Like, is someone interested in like a particular avenue? Like, who is your student? Is it like someone who wants to start their own business?
Yes, we have a lot of entrepreneur students. Their mindset is entrepreneurship and owning their own business. But then we also have students with different backgrounds or experience from other industries that could see themselves in the industry. So sales, marketing, finance, accounting, security, logistics, transportation, anyone in those areas can find themselves into the industry.
Oh, that is a wide spectrum of job opportunity choices. That's really great. So that they can do. So the job outlook, right now it seems like the job outlook for anybody, for anything is pretty great. But I'm not sure about if they were going into the retail business selling cannabis, if that's as great, just because of its vast new popularity. I mean, because it's brand new out of the box, I think people are super interested in getting into that. Is that true?
So just with last year, 2020, there was a little bit over 8,000 jobs created within different cannabis companies, not just dispensaries, but ancillary businesses. So consulting firms, law firms shifting things to help people position themselves to obtain license. So just a little bit over $8,000. 8,000 jobs were created.
Jobs.
Yeah, and so right now there is no actual statistic data to support this because of the complications between the Illinois law and the federal law. So that's not available at the moment, but there is a lot of there are many resources that do provide that support. So what we used in some of our documents to give you a glimpse was the Chicago Sun-Times, and it reported that the number of plant-touching jobs, which means bud tenders and cultivation and infusion, would be up to 63,000 by 2025. 63,000 jobs.
Okay. Is that countrywide or just
State.
statewide? Well, that's a lot of people. Okay, so they're seeing that this is going to keep expanding
Yes.
at this point. Does the licensing for owning a site, I mean, there's limitations to how many they're allowing.
Correct.
So are they assuming that there will be more of that as time goes on?
I believe so. There is different states doing different things, and what I think is that we are doing it at a moderate pace, but then there will be multiple lotteries, consideration of multiple lotteries, so then there's others to have the opportunity to go through that process.
Okay, so that's the lottery system is trying to make it fair and equal for people to randomly be selected for opening a store. It must be very lucrative if you're the store owner. So are people like thinking, okay, I'll get certified to do this, but then my next step is I want to own somewhere because I can do well.
Yes, I think that's individuals' mindset right now, to gain as much knowledge, not just from our certificate, but what we teach our students is network with these specific organizations that have been in the forefront of legalizing it and normalizing the industry, and then organizations that give you those resources, how to position yourself. So I think individuals are taking those steps. There has been plenty of talk within different social platforms, LinkedIn, and then webinars, conferences. The information is out there.
Okay. Do you see this then, the school, that whole program growing more and being like more extensive, or this is about as far as you're going to go as far as you know? I know it's hard to predict the future, but that retail specialist certificate, that's kind of what we're working on. There is nothing beyond that is needed at this point.
I think that there is an opportunity, definitely an opportunity to look at other areas within education to support our community and our students who are interested in, let's say, infusion, and learn about what it takes to create products from the start. So if there's something that the college, would be interested in it will take some research and looking into it. But there's transportation, there's the medical side of things, security. So there is other
avenues that you can go to. So this is kind of really probably a little bit of a jumping off point. And you've been at it for over a year now already.
Yes. Yeah. So this has been my baby over the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a good and bad time to start. On one hand, things are limited. On the other hand, with some of those limitations, you can really delve into things without it, kind of starting up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Diana, that you would like our viewers to know about this program?
Yes. So we are offering courses in the spring. Our next one is December 20th online, but then we're also offering in-person section over at our Tinley location. And so that it will be, I believe, from 10 to 11:40 on Mondays or Wednesdays. I got to confirm. I'll confirm that with you. Yeah. So that's a great opportunity for individuals who are interested in just the basic knowledge of what cannabis is, has been, and how it's going on in our state.
That just gives you a little bit of introduction, and then you can jump in to decide if you want to continue and get that retail certificate.
Right. So in order to continue to the next two courses of of the certificate. So we have a sequence. They take Introduction to Business, Cannabis Intro, and the Microsoft Office first, and then they can move on to the laws and the pharmacology with the principles of retailing. That's the sequence.
Okay.
We also offer a $1,000 scholarship to students completing the entire certificate. So if you register as someone who will take the entire certificate, you can also apply to a $1,000 scholarship.
And then you would get that $1,000 upon completion of the certificate.
No, you would get that to provide your tuition.
I see.
Right.
Okay. Well, gosh, then if somebody really wanted to do this, there would be no barriers really to, I mean, I'm not sure how much the certificate would cost without the $1,000, but that surely is a big help for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for our students that was, available to them really early on, and it will continue for as long as the funding is available for the scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to do that, how would they either start up like December 20th online or go to the Tinley Park? Do they just go on the Moraine Valley website?
Yes, and then you can search cannabis, and then we have a whole page, and you could fill out your information, inquiry. I get the information, but then I also work with our admissions department, and so then they'll start you off with the whole steps to register and be admitted as a student.
Okay, and then for the $1,000 scholarship kind of thing, can that be done online, or do you bring that up? You can do that online too.
You could also do
Okay.
that online too. On the same page, you'll get information about the scholarship.
Okay. Now, say for example, they didn't want to do it online. They really wanted to go in, meet people, kind of get a feel for things, and they're not that familiar with Moraine Valley. Should they just make an appointment to come in and talk to somebody? How would they do that?
Yeah, so they can go to our website and make an appointment through our admissions page. And then they'll speak with our admissions representative, and the appointment would be in our main campus at the S building. But if they're over near the Tinley campus, off campus, then that is also a walk-in opportunity and get information about this program.
Okay. I mean, there's no time like the present to get started with something. Even if you didn't start your classes in December, I'm sure there's another, semester,
Yes.
coming up, another quarter, whatever, however you guys measure, and they could kind of get positioned to do it then.
Yeah, and I'm always available. I talk to students who are interested all the time, and those inquiries come to me. So, I'll share my information. I'm available anytime.
You'll walk them through it. If they are unfamiliar with the process, you can get them through it.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Diane, for coming in. That is a nice opportunity for some people who are looking to do something that would be different outside of what they, maybe are doing right now. Or maybe they just need a new path, or maybe they're just getting started as a young person. Is there an age limit or
There's
start?
not. There's not, but in order to work in a dispensary, you have to be 21.
That's what I thought. Okay. So they can come in as an 18-year-old or 19-year-old, but they're not going to get a job doing that.
Correct.
But they could get a job doing something else. You mentioned so many other categories that this
Right,
could
right. So if you're a part of that ancillary seeking opportunity, and you have some accounting or internships, you'll be able to do that. But in order to work in a dispensary, you have to be 21.
Okay, good to know. All right. Thanks again, Diane, for coming in
Thank you for
today.
having us.
Always a pleasure. I hope you learned something today, and we will see you next month on Meet with Maureen. Thanks for watching us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.